Casper is up over 250x this year, but is flashing a massive warning sign on the charts right now that tell me that we could be about to see a 50% or bigger pullback in the Casper price. If you're holding Casper or you're looking at loading up on Casper after a pullback, you're not going to want to miss this. Hit the like button and let's get into the video. Now, before everyone who's a little Casper fanboy or fangirl, whatever you want to be, dives into the comments and says, last week you told me that Casper was a really good project. Casper remains a very good project. A good pullback is a healthy thing and is typical after a big surge in the price towards the upside. So what is it that I'm seeing right now on the Casper chart? Well, here we are over on the 1-day chart for Casper, and we can see that the price has been going from strength to strength. Now, there are three things that this chart shows me that has me very worried for the short-term people who've been buying into Casper at the top here. Despite many times where I've told people not to buy the tops of coins, Casper has been rallying into a very interesting point. Now, first thing we can see is this, which is a rising wedge. Now, a rising wedge is a typically bearish pattern. It doesn't have to play out to the downside every time. It can occasionally break towards the upside, but typically it doesn't. When we're getting these higher lows and higher highs and it starts to condense the price, where we're getting from a wider range into a narrower range, typically you will start to see a break out towards the downside after a final retest of the top. That's the first major issue with Casper. We can then see something else. You see, previously we had this high here, sat at around 5.1 cents. What happened is we then broke above that, and you can then see these two very bearish or big bear candles, the two white ones here, push down against it. Now, what that tells us is as the price tried to creep higher, people were taking profits and the bears tried to push it down very aggressively. Why did this happen? Right now in the crypto space, you will notice that every group, every video is extremely quiet. The comment sections have gone quiet. I have the luxury of seeing this as a YouTube content creator. When the prices are going up, lots of people want to watch my videos. When the prices are going down, lots of people don't want to watch my videos. And that's because of confirmation bias, which I've talked about before, where people just want to hear good news about things they're buying over and over again. And it's why people go and get angry when someone says something like one of their coins might pull back. And if you look down below in the comments, there will be lots of angry people who are telling me that I'm wrong because they want Casper to carry on going up. And if anyone tells them that it's wrong, they're just like, oh, you're just trying to get it in at a lower price, or you're going to bring the Casper price down. It doesn't work like that, okay? As the price is getting higher, more people are willing to sell for profit and less people are willing to buy. It's simple. There's not new people entering the crypto space who are going to be pumping up the likes of Casper right now until we see a bigger pump in the likes of Bitcoin and everything else. Now, take that into consideration. We've already had a big pump. Something else very bearish showing on the charts. This at the top is the price of Casper, and then this bit down here is the relative strength index, or the RSI. Now, the RSI is an oscillator which measures the strength of the price, and it does that by understanding the speed and magnitude by which different moves happen. So when we see aggressive moves towards the upside, like we saw here previously with Casper, you will see that it shoots up into an overbought territory, and then once we start to get up there, the chances of it coming down are much higher. Now, what we can see that has been occurring here on the Casper chart is the price has been increasing, putting in higher highs and higher lows each time, and then in conjunction the relative strength index is starting to be creeping down. What this is telling us is as the price is getting higher, the momentum is starting to get lower. That means, as I've already said, less buyers, less pressure coming into the market, less bulls to push it up, and at the same time you're getting more sellers coming in. Sellers coming in, starting to weaken the price a bit. So now that we know what a bearish divergence looks like on the charts, looking into Casper, I want to point out a couple of other things and then show you an example of something where this is already played out that may really start to get your attention. We can see, obviously, we have our divergence here, and I've already pointed out, but this is a very, very key, where we broke just above this previous high of Casper, and it would have caused many people to dive in, to go long, and anticipate the price was going to move even higher, and then the big money would basically just take some profits, and then you will start to see the price starting to decline. If the price comes up and retests into this red zone again, which there's always a chance of happening, but there's a less chance every time we kind of wait, is that we will probably see a sell-off. And you can see that in this area, the first time we attempted to get up there, it got sold off very quickly, and we had this pullback, which from that kind of top point was down about 35%. You can see again that this very strong kind of rejection coming in here, where we've pushed up into the area, you get very strong sell-off. Now, yeah, you can say kind of being brought back up again. You know, it wouldn't shock me if we rolled over. That would then create another pattern, which is a very bearish pattern, which is a double top. If we sell off and we get down towards this neckline, then we're looking for Casper to be able to try and save itself, okay, to be getting some good buys in. But if it fails to hold that price at around 3.1 cents, it would sell off, it would come down, probably retest, and then you would push at least probably into this buy zone area here, and potentially worst case scenario, even down towards there. What would that look like in terms of a price correction? 30% down to this neckline here. Down to the green zone, 56% down. Down to this red line, 75% pullback. And I want you to look into this and see just how similar this is to where we are on Casper right now. Previously with Bitcoin, we saw a push into this red box area, and then we rallied just above it and started to pull back away from that zone. If you look down at the RSI as well, then you'll see that on the RSI, we had this peak here, and then we dropped to a lower peak. So we're getting the lower peaks on the RSI, and at the same time, the build in the price of Bitcoin. Now, the more astute amongst you may have picked up, but this is when Bitcoin was worth $63,624. So the more astute of you who are around in the last bull market will probably be aware of what happened next. And if I hit this play button, you will see where Bitcoin goes from here. Now, I don't want to necessarily alarm you and tell you that 100% we're going to see Casper falling as hard as Bitcoin did, because this was the blow off top that happened in Bitcoin, but definitely something for you to be aware of, because on that first pullback, without much of a retrace, we saw Bitcoin falling here 52%. And similar things happened on this peak of Bitcoin. This bearish divergence is something that should be taken seriously, and yes, potentially you see another rally happen up in towards this sell zone, but something to be very, very cautious of, in my opinion. Now, this is not designed to make you panic and sell off Casper. If you've been investing in Casper since way back here, this is just a healthy pullback, you'll understand. And whether you're buying Casper, whether you're buying any other crypto, throughout the bull market, you will get aggressive pullbacks in the price. Let me show you this. This was Solana in the last bull market back in August 2021. You can see that the RSI kind of remains static in this area, and at the same time the Solana price is pushing up very, very aggressively. This is on a daily chart, and since that kind of first time it gets into this area around here, the price increases at like 400%. And then suddenly you'll see that basically the price gives up and it has a pullback into this area where it falls 46%. Following that 46% pullback, Solana then goes on to do another 124%. Now, this is much later on in the cycle than I think where Casper is, okay? Because at this point, Solana had already done a huge, huge bit of growth. But look, this was Solana before it kind of got into its kind of astronomical rally. It had various times where it had a little drop down here, and then it rallied all the way up here, 91%. It then got into this area, it kind of rallied. You get these pullbacks each time. It rallied all the way up here, and then you get the next pullbacks. Every cryptocurrency that goes up very, very hard and very, very aggressively will have a pullback. The more aggressively it goes up, the harder it goes up, the harder it will come down. Fundamentally, because the price is not controlled by how good the project is, or these developers are different and they were mentioned in the Ethereum white paper. Bullshit, okay? The only thing that is going to control that price is who's buying and who's selling, and how much are people buying and how much are people selling. And yeah, bits of news come in and they make a little bit of difference and make the price feel better and all these good things happening. And look, Casper's done it before, guys. It rallied all the way up this time. It rallied up 6x. It gets a pullback. It gets a pullback all the way down 75%. So wouldn't it make sense that if we get another pullback of around 75%, it could be reasonable? So yeah, it's more than likely that we will get a solid pullback. in Casper. And what does that mean for you? If you're invested and you think that there is a long-term future for Casper, because it is really a very good bit of tech, it's got an amazing team. They did have like a pure crypto launch without loads of venture capital and like loads of pre-mining, or at least that's the story, and all these other good bits and pieces going on with Casper. And yes, they're about to get launched on Binance and all the other good bits. This is true. Okay, this is kind of like stuff that could drive the project to being worth an absolute fortune in the future. But fundamentally right now, Casper is in dear need of a pullback, and it's reflected in the simple price action. Feel free to get upset at me in the comments as always, but ultimately I know it's just confirmation bias, but ultimately the more people are lashing out and getting upset by me saying this about Casper right now shows that Casper is overinflated, because it shows that lots of people have bought too far into the narrative and are getting too emotionally attached to it. If you're looking to buy that pullback at some point in the future, then I recommend not doing it through Coinbase, because Coinbase is insanely expensive and there's much better, cheaper options out there. I know if you're based in the USA, it can be quite difficult to buy various coins because of things like KYC, or know your customer, and because of location restrictions. So use MEXC, link down below in the description. There's a few days left where you'll get bonus and all that good stuff, but mainly because it's got 0% spot maker fees, 0% future fees, and 0.01 taker fees. If you don't know what that means, don't worry, it's not important for you because that's stuff to do with futures trading. But 0% spot fees means that you're not going to pay any fees at all buying and selling Casper and other cryptos. If you want to short the market, then be very cautious, only if you're an experienced trader. But again, guys, then the fees actually make sense here, okay? Don't over leverage yourself, be very cautious. And if you're like, well, I can't access it because I'm in the USA, then you should be using a NordVPN, which again is linked down below in the description, where you'll get 4 months extra for absolutely free by using my link down below, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Not only will this allow you to access the likes of MEXC or whatever, no matter where you are in the world, but it will keep you secure when you're buying and selling crypto online. Anyone who's smart enough can go and watch what you're doing all the time on exchanges and whatever else. They can record your passwords, they can record your secret seed phrases and everything else, unless you're protecting yourself by using encryption like what NordVPN offers. So guys, if you are trading like over, let's say $50 to $100, then doesn't it make sense to spend $2 or $3 on protecting yourself each month, which is like the price of a cup of coffee? No brainer. Not only that, it offers an ad blocking thing, malware protection, tracker blocker. This is the biggest VPN in the world pretty much, guys, and it's the very best. And as well as that, you can access Netflix in other countries, so you can go and watch like American movies or Australian movies or whatever you want. Very cool. Might as well. Links down below in the description. Hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Hit the like button, hit subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye bye.